Happy Thursday! I hope that you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I am so happy to be back here today because I have a very, very special guest that is joining us today. So, as you come on, please say hello. You guys are in for a treat. Trust me, you're in for a treat. Please say hello as you join us. And listen, we are talking to an author today. That's right, we're talking to an author. So if you go ahead and check below, what does it say? Go ahead and share for a chance to win. What? A copy of this book? Oh my gosh. First of all, you're going to fall in love with my friend Bobby. I met Bobby, let's see, maybe about, I don't even know now. Maybe about I think probably about 6 years ago when Madison was 8 years old. And he was one of the first local, I hate to just call him a reporter because he's so much more than that. He's a journalist. He's a broadcast journalist. He needs to have his own show. Like seriously, he's got the personality for it. But we met, he was one of the first people to cover Madison when she first started her photography business. And then when she went to photograph the president of the United States, you guys know that story, right? He also covered that story. And when she came home, it was just amazing. So he's a pretty cool dude. I like him because I like what he stands for. I like that he is unapologetic. If you go to his Twitter account, that's what it says. He is unapologetic. He loves the Lord. God is first. He shows it in his life. His family is, and his wife comes second, and his work top notch. So you're really going to enjoy meeting with Bobby today. For those of you who don't know, my name is Andrea Harrison. I am the creator and founder of Unleash Your Brilliance. As a writer and inspirational speaker, I disrupt comfort zones. I am a purpose pusher, and I inspire women to unleash their brilliance and live out their life purpose. So you're in for a treat. I'm going to bring on our special guest. Listen, sit back and enjoy the ride. Because let me tell you, when you're out on the road with Bobby, you got to be down for the ride. All right, guys, here comes my guest, Mr. Bobby Lewis. Hey!
Hey! Oh, hey, how you doing, Andrea? What's going on?
You know, I never know what I never know what to expect from you, Bobby. I really don't.
I know what to expect from you. Every time I chat with you, you've got some kind of fancy glasses on, some kind of, some kind of apparel going on. I don't have any. I looked all over the house, honestly, before I came to chat with you. I looked like I need something that shines. I need some kind of like, blingy thing of some sort. And I couldn't find sequins. I couldn't find hot glue, but I did find these
Uh-oh.
glasses that change like the Christmas lights into a different shape. So if there were Christmas lights in front of me now, I'd be seeing snowman shapes. So it's not exactly as fancy as yours, but I did find these. So that maybe next time if it's dark out, I'll put those on. We can see some cool lights.
You
Just trying to live
up
up to the host.
Oh my gosh, you're too funny. You're too funny. Well, see, I toned them down for you.
Oh, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that.
I toned them down for you. I didn't make them like make them like blingy and flashing lights for you. I kind of just toned it down.
That's totally fine. I appreciate that, but don't ever feel like you have to tone anything down for me. You be you.
Okay, I will take your advice.
Be so brilliant, please.
I will unleash it all.
There you go. Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. You're doing good today?
We're doing great. Yeah, I've been working the last 2 weeks on a series of stories for our CBS affiliate in Tampa. I'm a reporter at the TV station, and I've been working on some stories for the last 2 weeks of the year that are going to air beginning on Monday. And they're updates to people that I've interviewed throughout the year. But instead of kind of doing an update on, how's your business doing or how is your nonprofit doing, it's more of what did you learn in 2020? Because 2020 has been a year unlike so many others. And I thought, let's go back and revisit some of these people that we've met. And let's see how has your life or your perspective on life changed in the last 8, 9, 10 months. And some of the answers were just so special. It was really, really cool to hear from all these people that we've got a chance to meet. I meet so many people throughout the year, but you don't always have the opportunity like we've had with you and Madison to go back and have a relationship with those people. You meet so many of them, you just can't. And so
Right.
I always enjoy the last 2 weeks of the year because I've made it a habit of mine to go back and check out on these folks again. And it's really special this year. So that's going to start on
Oh.
Monday. It's kind of cool.
Wow. I love what you do because it's like you hear so much of the bad news, you hear so much of the horrible things happening. But with
Yeah.
you, we always get the good news. We always get the uplifting stuff, the positive stuff, the stuff that makes you feel good,
Yeah.
that gives you hope and brings you joy.
Yeah.
And
That's the
so
thing. It's all around you. Sometimes we miss it because, it's if you think about it as an avalanche, right? You've
Mhm.
got this ruby that you drop on the top of the mountain, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. You drop it on the top of the mountain, it starts to trickle, and then it gets lost in the avalanche that comes down the hill. You've got all this negative, bad stuff that you see, and the ruby's in there somewhere. There's a ruby in there. Sometimes you just forget that it's there because there's so much snow coming down the mountain. But
Mm.
there's the truth of it is there's so many rubies buried under the snow that
Wow.
you're looking for the one thing to kind of make you happy. There's millions of rubies under that snow. You just have to know how to dig through and look for it. And that's the idea.
Wow, gosh, man, every time I sit with you, I always feel this sense of just like, not just you have a great sense of humor. So you don't just keep me laughing, but just your perspective on life and the way that you see things and how you are always looking for the joy in things, for the good in
Yeah.
things. And I like the way that you put that. So we have a guest, Verona says that that's a great question. What did you learn in 2020? And I think we all have to sit back and think about that. So many people, because it's been so sad, because a lot of people have lost their lives. We tend to just look at it and want to just take a red X through it and say, you know what, 2020 was horrible. For us personally, it was the best year for our business. There were so many blessings in it. And I think that
So,
if we can sometimes just take a look at what did we learn? What did we get from it? What was good? Look for those rubies. So, what was the big lesson that 2020 taught you, Bobby?
a couple of things. One, I really appreciated just the curveball of working from home, which is weird. You'd think it'd be almost impossible to do TV from home because doing TV interviews, you're supposed to be out and you're with the people and you're seeing things in the community. It's been very difficult to kind of keep the creative side of television up when you're doing a lot of Zoom calls and those sort of things. But I have benefited personally so much more because the commuting was cut out. And so I'm no longer getting up at, whatever time to drive to, I live in Seminole, so driving to Wesley Chapel, that takes a while. If we're doing a story, you got to get up and you're gone in the morning and then you do your story, your interviews, you come home after the newscast. You're in the car, maybe 2 hours a day sometimes more than that, depending on what you're doing. And I've gained all that time back, which I've then plugged into my family. And I've got little
Yes.
kids. I've got a
The
9, 5, and
cutest
1-year-old.
kids ever. The cutest kids
They look
ever.
just like mommy. They're adorable. They're the
I'm
cutest little baby.
sorry. I'm sorry.
They're cute
No.
little babies. But but honestly, that has been such a blessing for me in 2020 because um, if you allow yourself to be bogged down by the avalanche, you'll miss the little individual things that happen each day that remind you that God's blessed you in an incredible way. One thing we did this year that we've never done before, and I was so thankful for it. My wife came up with the idea. We went to this pumpkin patch and we bought a couple of pumpkins because she has an Instagram account, so we needed pictures of kids with pumpkins. And so we went to the pumpkin place and we bought a bunch of pumpkins. And one of them we got was this giant, almost like flat, squishy saucer-like pumpkin. And we put it in the middle of the table, our dining room table. And every single day we left a Sharpie next to it. Every day before we went to bed, we said, "All right, kids, what's one thing you're thankful for today?"
Oh, I
And we
love that.
wrote one thing, and it could be still a little simple thing. Could be we went for a walk, boop, boop, write down the walk. Or sometimes it was even bigger. We got to see Grandma today. We hadn't seen Grandma in a couple weeks. Write that down. And it seemed like such a simple thing, but after we started this beginning of October, by the time we got to Thanksgiving, the pumpkin was littered with writing. It was, you could barely see orange anymore because there was
Wow.
little things every single day. And so we sat back on Thanksgiving. A lot of people didn't get to have the Thanksgiving they wanted to have this year.
Right.
We sat back and we looked at it and we said, wow, in a year full of sadness, God brought us so
Mm.
much gladness and joy in the little things. And we look back on it, and we're like, oh yeah, remember we played hockey that day in the driveway. Oh, we got roller skate. You know, like little tiny things that really made a difference. One day there was like cookies was on there one time. Like, oh, cookies, you know, which honestly, if you didn't have any cookies, you know, during the pandemic, you missed out.
I think I know which kid wrote about the cookies. I think I
I
know.
think yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think I know.
Yeah. Uh, he likes cookies. Anyway,
See, I knew it. I knew
yeah.
it. I knew it.
So I mean, we've done those little things, and throughout 2020, we're reminded that you know, God is planting these little moments of joy all over your life, and if you're willing to, you know, peel back the other stuff and start intentionally looking for the things that God's doing, then you'll be so blessed. It was really a fun idea. I really I take no credit for it. It's my wife's idea, and I loved it, and I think we'll probably do it every year now and we might not even wait for like Thanksgiving time. We might just do it throughout the beginning of the year because we constantly need to be reminded of that sort of stuff.
Wow.
The other thing I learned in 2020, aside just being thankful for the little things and having more family time, is we are woefully, you know, I'm meaning people in general are woefully unprepared for what is inevitable, and that is death.
Mm.
Um, we had maybe have this idea that well, we're all going to die in our sleep at 97 years old, and it's going to be great.
Mhm.
That's just not true. The Bible doesn't promise that. God
Right.
doesn't promise that. God doesn't say you're going to have a glassy ride through life. It's going to be tumultuous. There's going to be waves. You may even capsize. And it's just, we have this false idea that everything is going to be rosy and that we're supposed to
Mhm.
glide through life and safely arrive at death. That's not true. It's been thrust into the forefront for us this year because so many people
So
have
many.
gotten sick or so many people have been depressed. I saw something yesterday. It was a Gallup poll that was done. I forget how many people were in the poll, so forgive me for not knowing that. But essentially, the only subgroup of people who were interviewed that had a more positive mental health outlook in 2020 than they had in 2019 were regular church attendees. Didn't matter your class, didn't matter your ethnicity, didn't matter your age, didn't matter your job. None of that. All the rest of the categories had a dip in mental satisfaction outside of people who were regular church attendees, meeting more than twice a month, once or twice a month.
Right.
And so I thought that was staggering. We just don't have a good grasp on the fact that death is coming.
Yeah.
And death is coming for every single person. 100% of people who are born will die. And
Mhm.
it is much worse, in my opinion, to die in sin than to die with coronavirus. There's
Mm.
plenty of
That's
people.
that's deep.
Well, there are 8 billion people on the planet. All 8 billion will die. You
Mhm.
know, by percentages, a very, very small percentage of those people will die, and next to their death certificate, it'll say COVID. Some will die, and it will say heart attack or whatever. You know, everyone's going to die of
Right.
something. Some will just die of
Right.
old age. A
Right.
very tiny percentage of people will die with COVID, and yet every single person will die one day and face the Lord. And if you're not
Hmm.
prepared for that, it didn't matter if you died of COVID or if you died at 97 in your sleep in your bed,
Right.
you're doomed without Jesus. And that's
Yeah.
the thing that has been reaffirmed for me. And we're all, you know, somewhat scared, some people more than others scared of COVID and justifiably depending on your situation. But it's far worse to be inflicted with sin and not know it, or worse yet, not care.
Yeah.
There's no mask that's going to keep you safe from sin. So
Yeah.
you have to trust in Jesus to get you through that.
Amen.
That's something else that I've really
That is
thought
the
through.
truth. That is the truth. But you know what? Even more so than that, you don't want to die without knowing Jesus.
Yeah,
But man, how does somebody live without him, Bobby?
absolutely. Yeah,
How do you live without him?
yeah,
Especially with everything that's going on. You need something to hold
yeah.
on to. You need that hope.
Yeah.
You need that
Well,
hope.
that's so true. There's two verses. You mentioned the book. You held it up earlier, and I brought one out in case you didn't have your copy, which I know you carry with you everywhere. But
Everywhere.
but the book here, I wrote this over a period of a year and a half or so, And there are a couple of verses that, well, there's 90 verses in the book that just demonstrate how God has given us joy in all situations, all seasons. Whether you need to persevere today, whether you need love today, whether you need ambition today, any of those things. But one of them that really sticks out to me is an Old Testament verse. It's from Second Chronicles, and it's First Chronicles. First Chronicles 16:24, and it's a verse that probably doesn't roll off your tongue. It's not a John 3:16 bumper sticker verse, but it's amazing to me. It's publish his glorious deeds among the nations, tell everyone about the amazing things he does.
That's what you do in your everyday life, Bobby. I'm sorry, I just had to plug that.
Well, here's the most important part is of that particular verse. It says, "Publish his glorious deeds." Everyone's got glorious deeds. You look through your life. You don't have to have a pumpkin with things all over it. You can just look at your daily life, and you can see, okay, I got up and I was healthy today, or I got up and I was able to high five a coworker today who really was having a bad day. Publish his glorious deeds. God did something great for me. And what's really cool is the end of the verse says, tell everyone about the amazing things he does, which is present tense.
Wow.
It's not past tense.
Right.
It's not even future tense. And
Right.
that doesn't say that God hasn't done amazing things in the past. He probably has, and certainly has. And that doesn't mean God won't do amazing things for you in the future, but the things that he does, which means today, God is doing something worth publishing for other people. God is doing something, dare I say, brilliant in your life that you can then, pass on to someone else. And it's a transferable thing. We worry so much about COVID being contagious. Joy is way more contagious than COVID or any other thing. And that's exactly what God wants us to spread. He wants us to tell everyone about the amazing things that he does in our lives today, because that's the way that you get to know someone more and more. If someone had never met Andrea Harrison, and they said, "Hey, Bobby, I heard of this person named Andrea Harrison. What can you tell me about her?" And I started telling them all the amazing things that you're doing to help other people, you would feel like you know that person more and more. Even if they've never gotten a chance to meet you, they've never gotten a chance to sit and listen to what we're talking about now. Just by hearing about the amazing things you're doing, it may, hopefully, make them want to meet you and learn more about you as a person.
That's a good point.
Maybe it's not in person. Maybe it's through logging into something like this that you're doing next time around and want to listen to you then. But you want to hear more about somebody when you want to get to know somebody more when you hear about that person and what they're doing. How many times have you been looking on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you see somebody who's got a really cool product they've been selling? Oh, I want to know more about that product. I did it yesterday. I've been getting into woodworking during this pandemic.
I saw the nativity scene.
How about that?
My gosh!
I did these posts on the house. We got the nativity out front there. Like I've been doing some cool woodworking things, and I saw yesterday someone who made flower vases out of wood, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I want to do that. And then I found myself for 10 minutes, like looking up them online and finding some pictures of things they've done. And before I realized it, I'm like, I wasted 10 minutes on this. But that's the exact example of what I'm trying to say is the more we hear about what God is doing in your life, the more interested we become in God. And that's the entire point of what we're doing here.
And you know what? It's so true, because you have people that complain all the time. They complain, they complain, then complain. They call themselves a Christian. Why would anybody want to follow your God if you just walk around with your, with the head hung down and you're just miserable all the time? But Bobby, that is not your story, Bobby. That is not your story. And that was one of the things that we really, that kind of drew us to you. And, after just hanging out with you a couple of times, I was like, oh no, he's never going to get rid of us. We love you, Bobby. We absolutely love you. We consider you and your family, precious to us. And I love the work that you're doing. I love the work that you're doing. I love when somebody can do a public job like you as a reporter on a CBS affiliate news station, and you can still find joy behind the headlines, and you share joy with everyone, and you're unapologetic about it. I love that about you.
It's a simple reminder that there are good things happening. You actually you watch the news. It doesn't matter what newscast it is, ours, national news. It doesn't matter. You just pick a newscast, or pick a news web, CNN.com or whatever. Just pick a news source, Yahoo.com. Almost every single headline, unless it's an incredible story of just perseverance, or someone saved at sea after 2 weeks, unless it's something just outlandish like that, the headline is the outlier. Almost always. Today we have not today, but just for example, let's say out in the middle of Missouri somewhere, a poor police officer gets run over by a car in an accident while trying to help someone across the street. We'll just make something up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a headline. It's a headline because it's tragic, and it's a headline because it's very sad and it's unfortunate. But that doesn't mean that that's the norm. You know,
Right,
you have
right.
someone who goes to the beach and they get attacked by a shark. Oh, it's terrible. It's not safe to go in the. Well, actually, it's safe to go in the water. It's fine. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 1 in a billion chance. You know, the headline is not always the norm. And so we get to this point where if you apply that to how you feel and your the good news we're searching for, if all you're eating all day long are these junk food headlines all day, every day, don't be surprised when your stomach hurts at the end of the day, or your heart hurts even
Oh.
worse than that. You're feeding yourself something that's not going to uplift your body. You got to mix in an apple. You got to mix in something good and joyful. And to me, the most incredible buffet of good news is the Bible. So that's where I
Mm-hmm.
go to find this nourishment for my soul. So if you're looking for joy, if you're looking for something to feel good about, and you're looking for it in the wrong places, don't be surprised when you come back, filled up with some negative feelings. That's certainly the message of the book that I wrote, because I do think there's a chance to find joy in everything that we do. But if you're looking for it in the wrong places, don't be surprised
Right.
when you come back feeling yucky.
Right, right. So I just want to remind everybody that if you go ahead and you share this broadcast, I'm going to choose a winner, and you're going to get to win a free book autographed by the author. So
Yeah.
please go ahead and share this broadcast. I want to ask you a question about the book. First of all,
And not only
yes.
look, there's your young daughter right there. There we go. Perfect. Young Madison in the book, hanging out. We had a chance to chat and share her story, and so she's the very first story in the book, which is interesting. So I've always loved her story. I thought it was such a special one to share, and it just keeps getting better and better.
Well, I have to say something. Could you put that up, please? Put that back up.
The picture?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, let me find it here.
You like this one, right? Let's both put it up. Like,
oh, there you go. There it is.
no,
Yeah.
no, you can put yours up too, because you know what?
Okay, there you go.
Nobody talks about this, Bobby. No, nobody talks about this part. Who took that picture, Barbie?
Must have been Gordon. I think that was Gordon.
No.
Was it you? Was it you?
It was me.
Okay.
So you see, like, I'm a published photographer. My photo
That's
is
true.
The photo I took is in this book.
Wow, that is stunning. How about that? Yeah.
So I have a question to ask you. On chapter 13, on page 13,
Yeah.
you talk about the word can't. So many people nowadays, especially when the pandemic first hit, we had to learn to do things a certain way. We couldn't do it the way we always did it. We had to figure out a way to make it happen, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, I can't do this, I can't do that because of the pandemic. I can't. And you said that it is the enemy of ambition. Can't is the enemy of effort. If you think that Bobby is saying, if you think I hate the word, imagine what God thinks of can't. It's not even in his vocabulary. Can't will handcuff opportunities waiting to be seized in your life. Can't saws dreams off at the knees. Can't is a gateway excuse. If we allow ourselves to foster a can't habit when it comes to little things, falling back on can't when things get tougher will be far too easy. Now, I'm in the process of writing a book myself. It is.
So you're not sleeping either. That's great.
It's not an easy task.
No, it's not.
But I know that there must have been bumps in the road. I know that there must have been times when you just felt like, man, I can't do this. How do you turn your can't into a can? What gets you over that hump? Especially when it came to writing this book, Finding Joy Beyond the Headlines.
I felt like a couple years ago, I had the idea to write the book. We were on vacation. My family has a cabin in the mountains, North Carolina. So I was sitting on the porch, and it was just quiet. There's nobody around. Cell phone didn't work. Just kind of hanging out. And I really felt like God was calling me to do this because I was doing the same TV role that I have now. But I was doing it, and I was seeing the fruit of all the joyful things that was going on. But I was wondering if anyone else was seeing it. And I really felt like people needed to be reminded. And so I really started thinking, I need to start writing a book. And then almost immediately I thought, well, you don't have time for that. Or you can't do that. Like, you're not an author. You've never done this before, you know? What do you know about writing a book? Who's going to publish it? Where's the money going to come from to do that? All those sort of doubts started creeping in. And so can't it's not a word I use often, but if you have kids, you have heard the word can't. In fact, my son has been doing that. We're homeschooling our kids. We always have. So that's new for a lot of people during the pandemic, but for us, we've just gotten used to doing it. And a new thing yesterday with my son was I had come up with spelling words, and I wrote spelling words on the whiteboard, and I drew a little picture next to it. Very simple. Hat. H-A-T. And I just leave the 3 blanks, and he has to fill in the at in the sound. He didn't want to do it. And
I was gonna say he didn't want to do it because I know him. He's very smart.
He's very smart, and he could do, and he did it eventually.
Of course.
But what did he say? He didn't say I don't want to do it. He says I can't do it. And I thought, you can do it. You just don't want to do it.
Right.
And so that's exactly what we're talking about here. Is a lot of times we say can't, but what we mean is we don't want to do it.
Yes.
And that's an excuse that God doesn't want to hear, because you're talking about unleashing your brilliance. We all have brilliance inside of us. One of my favorite verses, Ephesians 2:10. And it depending on which translation you read, says you are God's handiwork, or you are God's masterpiece, or you are God's craftsmanship, depending on the variation that you read. But it all ends with this: you are created in Christ Jesus to do the amazing things he has prepared for you. So if you have things that God has prepared for you to do, you may not know what they are. The minute you say, I can't, when God gives you a little bit of an idea, you are saying you're wrong. The things that you have prepared for me to do, not good. Not good enough. I'm not equipped for that. What a slap in the face to the God who created you specifically to do that thing. So right now you're writing a book. God created you to write a book. And we pray that it uplifts people, right? God has created you for this. Now, for you to look at God and say, I can't do that, really what you're saying is I won't do that, and I don't want to do that. But if you're telling God, I can't do what you have created me perfectly to accomplish, you are slapping the creator of the earth across the face and saying, I don't care about the things that you have planned for me to do. What I care about is the ease of life. I want to safely arrive at death. I don't want to challenge myself. I don't want to what was the word you used a minute ago? You disrupt comfort. Is that what you're doing?
Comfort zones. Disrupt comfort zone. I need to disrupt my own comfort zone and finish it, right?
I love my comfort zone. I love this comfort zone because no one challenges me here. No one pushes me here. But to me, God is a God of challenges and a God who pushes us towards bigger and better things, because God knows our potential. We don't even understand how to scratch the surface of our potential. But if we say yes instead of I can't, if we try to move towards can, then we get a little bit closer to achieving all of those things that God has already planned for us. So that's what I try to remind myself. So every time I think the word can't, I need to carry a rubber band or snap myself with a rubber band. Don't say can't. Don't think can't. Kind of like a shock collar for the dog or something. I need a can't shock collar. Don't do that, Bobby. We really have to try to stay away from that word, because it is a gateway excuse. As I wrote in the book, if you say can't now, I can't write a book. Oh well, I can't do anything that's bigger and better that I could have achieved in the future. You don't want to start off on the road of can't. There's no off ramp.
So when he said that he can't spell hat, did you pull the book out? Did you go to page 13 and say, "Listen here, let me tell you"?
I actually used the book to spank him. No.
Bobby.
I'm just kidding. No, I said, listen, okay, here's what I did. I said, I know you don't want to do it. I know you think you can't do this, but last week we did spelling words together, and I remember you did it last week, and I remember we did it together. So don't tell me you can't do it, because last week we did it. And if you could do it last week, you can do it this week. And so he's like, okay, fine. And so eventually we did it. And what was cool is that when he started doing the word, there was like 10 words. He did one. I said, oh, good. Let's do the next one. And the next one. And after a while, he had completed all 10. But if he had never started on the first word, he could have easily said, there's no way I'm ever going to get to the 8th word or the 9th word or the 10th word. Right. It's that little step of obedience. In that case, it was his child obedient to his father. In our case, as we grow up and we have bigger challenges as adults, It's little step of obedience towards what God's called us to. And
Mm,
so that's the thing. You've taken steps of obedience in your life already that have led you to step 5 of writing a book. Who knows what step 10 is? But you've taken step
wow.
1, 2, 3, 4 to get to this step 5, and
Right.
now your can is going to lead you to step 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're getting there.
Wow. Whew. It's challenging.
Sure.
It's challenging, and I don't say that I can't. I just, it is, I have to admit and say it is challenging.
Yeah.
But you just got to you got to stick to it. You got to keep doing it. Got to keep
Well,
doing it.
there's a couple people there's two types of people. There's people that enjoy a challenge and people who run from a challenge. And
Hmm.
there is no such person who will not encounter a challenge at some point. What do you do
Right.
when you encounter your challenge? And that's how you determine,
Yeah.
who you're going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I even have a writing coach, and she, edits the book. She
Yeah.
sits with me. We talk through it. She's going to publish it.
Yeah.
And she's amazing. She's amazing. I hope she agrees to come on the show one day. She's absolutely amazing. She's a Christian woman. And she pushes me in a good way. She pushes me in a good way. And I tell her all the time, I said, I don't deserve you. I don't deserve you. But yeah, we just got to do it, right, Bobby? We just got to push through
Yeah.
and push past our quit and just get it done.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah.
So I put in the I don't see it, didn't see it come up yet. But I put in the comments where people can click and buy the book. So, of course, I'm going to be giving away an autographed copy today to someone. I don't like to say lucky, somebody who is blessed to get this book. I'm going to give one a copy today.
Well, I'll
However,
tell you a little bit about, just so they know a little bit more of what it is.
yes,
It's a book about finding joy beyond the headlines, hence the name of the title. And it's about finding God in all of the moments of your life, especially through the newscast, since that's my role in my career. Finding joy in the negative places, and it's been a blessing to me. I've been able to meet so many people through it. Been able to get a chance to experience all kinds of really cool relationships, and just see the fruit of God working in it. And it's broken down into chapters. You got biblical principles: ambition, love, perseverance, joy, giving, thankfulness, all these sort of things. And in each chapter, your daughter is part of the ambition chapter. There are 4 people in each chapter who have exhibited those qualities and have a story to tell about how God has impacted their life through perseverance, through thanksgiving, through giving and joy and love and blessing. It's just such a really cool thing to have. And I felt like it was just like we said earlier, just a step of obedience. I felt like God asked
yeah,
me to do it. I did it. From here, it's been a blessing for me to see how God has taken it and moved it out and made it
wow,
bigger and better than I ever thought. So that's really the cool thing. So
wow.
it's an interesting project that is one I hope blesses you if you'd like one.
There it is. There it is. So it's in the comments. You guys can click on that. And I'm going to do this. So I'm definitely going to give away a copy to someone today that shares. However, if everybody goes out and gets a copy, go out, get a copy, and post a picture of you holding the book. Tag myself. Tag Unleash Your Brilliance. Okay. Tag Bobby Lewis. And I will look for it. Okay. Let me know that you've done it by tagging me, and I will choose another person to get another copy of the book. Okay. So you have a way you can share this broadcast, and your name will be entered into a drawing in order to win a free copy of this book. But when you get the book and you take a picture of yourself and you tag Bobby, remember you can go to his Facebook page, which is Author Bobby.
Author
Right?
Bobby Lewis. Yep.
Author Bobby Lewis. And you have a page for Finding Joy.
Yep.
Finding Joy Beyond the Headlines as well, right?
I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. So go ahead and tag Finding Joy Beyond the Headlines, tag Author Bobby Lewis, tag Unleash Your Brilliance. And when I see that, I will then go ahead and choose another person to win another copy of the book. Okay.
Another special thing that we've decided to do with the sales of the book is every time we sell a book, take $1 from the sale of the book and we donate it to a guy who's in the Ambition chapter, Mike Abramowitz, who he's a businessman who at one point was in Clearwater, Florida. Now he's in Tampa, Florida. And he and his friends got together on the weekends once a month to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to hand out to homeless in the area. They've gotten very close to 100,000 sandwiches since 2015. And so every time we sell a book, we give $1 to him to support him, and $1 buys 10 sandwiches. So we've been able to buy almost 800, 900 sandwiches for him in the course of the last year or so to give out to the homeless, just because of the sales of the book. So it's not just a buy a book because you want it on the shelf. Buy a book and you're helping someone eat in your community, which has really been a special thing too.
Well, I think personally it's a great book, and I personally think that people should buy two.
Me too.
But I think they should buy two books. I think they should buy one for themselves, and I think they should buy one to give away to somebody else. Because with all we have going on, reading these stories, this is going to uplift someone. This is going to make somebody really see that there is hope, that there is joy. You're going to bring someone joy this is the Christmas season, right? This is the season of joy. This is the season of giving. I mean, Christ did he made the most he made the most impact on the world, whether you believe in him or not. He had made the most impact on the world. He gave his life for us. This is a gift that you can give that is really going to make a difference in somebody's life. I promise you that. I've read the book. I mean, not because my daughter is in the Ambition chapter, right? Not just because of that. Not just because my photo is in the first chapter.
It's a glorious photo. It's really pretty. Yeah.
But it's such a great book. So let me ask you this as we wrap up, okay? Dr. Stevie is saying just feeling that word joy blesses me.
Yeah.
Verona says, wow, what a blessing. We're getting some great comments here. Simonia says, help a friend win. How great. So yes, joy is better than happiness because happiness is fleeting. That is the truth. That is the truth. So
it's absolutely true. Well, happiness is based on circumstances. You know, you might be happy today because you found $5 in your wallet, and you're like, oh, I didn't know I had $5, but you'll spend that $5, and then what? Are you happy again? You know, like it's such a fleeting thing. Happiness comes and goes, but joy is eternal because it has a different source. That's the idea.
Yes, my friend TJ always says her joy is non-negotiable. That's where I got that term. My joy is non-negotiable. Yeah. All right. So before we go, first I want to say thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you for taking the time to be here, to hang out with us. You know, you're such an amazing person that I always want to make sure that I share you with other people. Because people need to hear what you have to say. I want people to follow you because of just the way that you live your life. You're just such a great influence, especially on the younger people. And I know that you do a lot with, you probably did a whole lot more of it before the pandemic, going out and preaching and speaking and sharing. But you're just such a dynamic young man. And gosh, I feel like weird saying that. You're such a dynamic man. Let's just leave it at man. We're going to take the young out.
Well, I tell my wife all the time that I'm young. She's a year older than me. As I call her an old lady. In fact, she just walked out. She's hanging out here. She's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? You doing what?" And I told her I was talking to you this morning. She says, "Oh, that's very nice." And I'll take the young. Yeah, she's saying hello. I got the thing plugged in so she can't hear. But you say hi.
I don't look.
No. Okay, then done.
I love Jocelyn. I love.
There she is. There's my old lady.
I love Justin. Well, it's because of that old lady that you are as great as you are. So you better believe it.
I totally know that. Yeah.
So Dr. Stevie says, as a person with a PR background, it is such a blessing to see someone in media to be Christ-centered. Love that. Yes.
I'm trying to plug that back in. There we go. She unplugged me so she could hear you, but she doesn't need to hear all that praise you're giving her.
I didn't hear any of it. Oh my goodness. So, okay, my last question for you, Bobby, before we go. I always ask this question of my guests. Um, we can all learn from each other, right? One of the main reasons that I created the show in an interview format is to help other women, help people to unleash their brilliance. Okay,
Hmm.
very much like the body, we all have different functions.
Yep.
Right, we all have different functions, and I always like to believe that we're better together. Okay, I'm very big on relationships and collaborating and of course inspiring others. I'm that person that says, come on, let's get together. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I believe that one of the main responsibilities of an entrepreneur, of someone who's successful, someone who is in like your position, in a position of influence, I believe it is our responsibility. Each one should teach one, each one reach one. And
Hmm.
so to wrap this interview, if you would, please finish this sentence.
Okay.
Bobby Lewis says, if you would, please finish the sentence. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Bobby Lewis says, in order to unleash your brilliance, you must.
Remember who God made you to be, because you weren't made to be me, and I wasn't made to be you. You were made to be exactly who God made you to be, for a specific purpose. I mentioned earlier that verse, Ephesians 2:10, one of my favorites. You are God's masterpiece, not something that He slapped together. If you think about a masterpiece, whether Van Gogh did it or whether your 3-year-old spent as much time as they possibly could working on something before their attention span made them run away. They worked on it as hard as they possibly could, and they present you this, and it's a masterpiece. They worked so hard on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what God did for you. You are a masterpiece, handiwork, workmanship, some versions of that verse say. So you were created specifically, perfectly, for exactly what God is doing, and we have to live up to our end of it. I don't think that we are meant to go through life living as safely as possible. I think we're supposed to live on the edge and do everything we can, put ourselves out there to make God famous, and just do our very best every day to wake up trying to do more of that. So that's what I would say. And
What's that
it's a lesson
scripture?
that it's Ephesians 2:10.
Okay, Ephesians 2:10. So I want everybody to type, I am God's masterpiece. Type that in the comments. I am God's masterpiece. Go ahead and put it on a post-it, stick it on your mirror. Remind yourself that you are God's masterpiece. One of the ways that Bobby Lewis from CBS affiliate Channel 10, WTSP Channel 10 says for you to unleash your brilliance. You got to remember who you are. You got to remember whose you are. Go ahead and type it. I am God's masterpiece. Bobby, this was amazing.
I agree. I didn't have to put on pants. It was great. It was wonderful. Just kidding. I have pants on.
Knowing you, you probably have shorts on.
I do. And flip-flops. Yeah. but hey, it's okay. It's all right. We live in Florida. I'm here in Florida. This is a Florida winter. I've got shorts and flip-flops on. It's great.
Hey, do you have on your joy socks with your flip-flops?
Not today. I got the little thing that goes between your toes, so they wouldn't work. You can't wear socks with these. It wouldn't.
You'd be surprised, Bobby. You'd be surprised.
I don't want to ruin those joy socks. They were a beautiful gift. I don't want to mess those up.
Bobby, we love you. We thank you so much for being here. And I just pray God's blessing over your life. I pray God's blessing over this book, and that you will continue to be all God created you to be. You are such an amazing, talented, creative person. And I still believe you and Madison need to have a show together.
Listen, I would be on board for that, with the exception of I don't want to become less famous than Madison. So I don't know if that's something that we need to pursue. I think it would be a hit show, but I don't want to be her sidekick. So I'm not going to do that. So I would quickly become her sidekick. We did a little segment a couple years ago in the studio, and we had to get her a ladder, which was funny. You remember that, right?
That was hilarious. Yes. When you did your Christmas special. Oh, I've got to find that and post that. You did your Christmas special, and you're how tall are you? 6 what? 4?
6'3" ish.
6'3". Okay. Yeah. So you're 6'3", and this was what, 3-4 years ago. So she was shorter. shorter
Yeah.
than she is today,
I
right?
think she was like 8 or 9 at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And and it was so funny when that, to see you guys had to pull out a step
A
stool,
little
like
step stool.
a
Yeah. For the
step
shot. Yeah.
ladder. Yeah, that was funny. So, but Bobby, Monica says, I sang with a Bobby Lewis in New York City, but I don't think it's you.
It was not. It was not me. No. Trust me, it was not me. No. There was no singing in New York City.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you again. It
Yo,
was a
no problem. I
pleasure
hope you have a
having
Merry
you.
Christmas and everybody else has a Merry Christmas.
Yes,
It's
yes,
definitely my favorite time of the year. It's a special time, and it's nice that this year maybe more than others people have been a little more sad, and so Christmas people started putting up lights in our neighborhood well before my self-imposed deadline of December 1st. They were celebrating way too early, but I think we need some Christmas this year, and to be
yes,
reminded that as tough as 2020 has been in a lot of people, that God still wins, and God's
yes,
coming. And that's the cool
yes,
thing.
yes. So anybody who's in the Tampa Bay area, they can watch you on Channel 10,
Yeah.
WTSP Channel 10, and your segment comes on just about 5:55, right?
Yeah, and I actually did a little bit of an interview earlier this morning for today's story. It's going to be a really cool one. There's a few ladies who opened up an ice cream shop in Gulfport, which is just outside St. Petersburg, and they did it like 2 months ago in the middle of a pandemic. Like, why are you opening an ice cream shop in the middle of a pandemic? Well, what's been cool is that they've opened the shop and people have been coming by and paying it forward and buying ice cream for future customers. So
Wow.
it's been a really cool blessing for them to see the generosity of others in their ice cream shop. So it's a cool story.
Wow, that's nice. So if they wanted to see other past stories that you've done,
Mhm.
you've got a YouTube channel.
I do. You can go on YouTube and you just type in Bobby Lewis, and it should show up. Probably Bobby Lewis reporter or something like that would probably show up.
Okay.
So that would be a good way to go. And yeah, I've tried to save as many of those feel good type of stories as I could. I know the one we did with Madison, the original story with her photography is on that site, so that'll be good.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll post a couple of those links. Would
Another,
you take?
another good way is if they're going to go to the website. I know you put that link on there for the website.
Yes.
If you're there on the website, if you're clicking around looking to buy a book or something, if you click through the chapters, there's a link in there about there's an ambition link and there's a joy link and a blessing link to all the different chapters. The 4 people whose stories are in those books, their actual TV news segment is linked in there too. You can watch each story that corresponds with the book title, which is kind of cool. So,
That's
like
cool. Yes.
Madison's is on there. Yeah, you can go if you go to the ambition page on the website. Madison's right there on the ambition tab, and then Mike Abramowitz, the peanut butter and jelly gentleman, he's on there, and there's so many cool. We got a story about a mermaid on there, a guy who meets elephants on there. We got all kinds of interesting stories. Guy who became Mr. Universe, he's in there. All kinds of stuff.
I
So it's a
remember
cool
that
thing.
one.
Yep,
I
yep.
remember that one. I remember that one. Okay, well, if you don't mind, can you ask Jocelyn to send me a picture? Maybe you can take it of the pumpkin, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because she probably put it on Instagram already.
I'm sure she has. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, that was the whole point of buying the pumpkin. So yeah, I believe that it's there. Yeah. Well, we have a picture of the pumpkin. We'll send it to you.
Yeah, I would. If you don't mind me posting that, I'd like to post that for people to
Absolutely.
see it, and
Sure.
I'll put all your links and everything with it.
Absolutely.
So,
We'll do that. We'll send it to you in just a few minutes.
okay, all right. Thank you, Bobby. I'll give you a big hug, big hug, big hug.
And a high five for Gordon.
All right, high five for Gordon.
And tell Madison to do her homework.
I know she's in school right now. Sometimes she pops out and she's like, "Mommy, you know I'm in school, right? You're being a little bit too loud." Oh, Bobby, I have to tell you one more thing. Guess what we did yesterday?
I don't know.
We had an interview with a high school coordinator. She's going to high school. Bobby, how is she going to high school?
That's sad, really. Yeah. Well, it's sad and good, because she's experienced so many good things. She's got a good foundation. I think she'll be just fine.
Yeah, but mommy's not fine. How about that?
Well, your week's going better than mine. I was going through the closet the other day, picking out all the different Christmas stuff that we put in the closet, and I came across a book. Eventually for my daughter, like what to do when your body is changing. Like, where did this book come from? What is this devil book in my closet? And Justin said, "Oh yeah, the neighbor gave us that because it was old. They had." I'm thinking, I'm never talking to this neighbor again, ever. So your week is going much better than mine, just so you know. It's bad. It's so bad.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It's
Oh
so
my
bad.
gosh.
I
I
cried a
wasn't
little.
ready for that. You didn't
Yeah.
prepare me for that one.
No, I didn't get prepared for it either. If I had to suffer, you're going to suffer along with me. I didn't know that book was up there. It makes me wonder what else is up there in my pile.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta go read a little bit and just get my mind refocused on
Yes,
something better.
yes,
Ugh.
yes. Everybody go out and get the book. Go out and get the book. Go get the book. Is it on Amazon as well?
It is on Amazon. The drawback with ordering on Amazon, I found, and you'll find this too when it comes to publishing, is if you order through Amazon, it never comes through the author, so I can't sign it for you if you want me to. And then also, we don't have the ability to donate proceeds to Mike for the peanut butter and jelly. So I've been
Gotcha.
trying to drive people to the website so that it comes through me before it goes out, and then we can make the donation. Amazon's fine too if you want to get it there. It's more convenient. People do that, but in terms of being able to make a contribution to others out in the community, that's the best way to do it, is to go through that link.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, a matter of fact, if you would
Oops, sorry.
if you can put the book with the pumpkin, and so people can tie that together when I post it.
Sure.
Because I'm going to put all your links and everything. Because I love being able to give back. I love being
Sure.
able to give back. So, Bobby, yay! We did it.
We did it. We did. Anytime you want, you let me know. I'll try to
Aw.
jump on here again with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll take you up on that. You know I will.
Deal.
All right. Take care. Give the kids a big hug from Auntie Andrea.
I will do that.
And give Jocelyn a big one as well. Thank you
I
so
will
much. Have a
definitely
great day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right. You're
See you,
welcome.
Gordon.
Bye.
See you, Gordon.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. Did you guys enjoy that? Did you enjoy? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed that interview, and if you want to see Bobby Lewis come back. You guys, now you know why I say I love Bobby Lewis, right? He is such a dynamic man. He's such a dynamic man. I love the way that he loves his kids, the attention that he pays to his kids, and the way he loves his wife. He truly loves her, and I like her too. She's a firecracker. So Dorothy says, awesome. Patrice says, great. So you guys loved him too, huh? Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. So make sure that you get a copy of the book. When you get a copy of the book, make sure you take a selfie with the book. Tag Unleash Your Brilliance, right? Tag this page. Make sure you tag this page, because it's when you tag the page that I will be able to see your I'll be able to see your post. Okay. So make sure you tag the page. Go and like his page now. The most that we can do for somebody is you know what it's like. If you have a business, if you're an author, if you are out there trying to do something, you know what it's like. It is, Facebook doesn't make it easy for us, right? So if you don't mind, if you haven't already, like this page, follow this page, invite people to love this page. We have some incredible interviews coming up. A matter of fact, next Thursday, if you want to learn about personal branding, the iconic woman Cheryl Pullings herself will be here next Thursday at 11 a.m. So make sure you're following this page. The other thing that you can do is if you text UYB, if you text UYB to 31996, okay? If you text UYB to 31996, you will get a text alert that lets you know what's going on with Unleash Your Brilliance, okay? So make sure you text UYB for you, Unleash Your Brilliance, B, UYB. Text UYB to to 31996, okay? And you will get an alert for what's going on with Unleash Your Brilliance, okay? Also, you can go to the website. Make sure you go to the website, download a free copy, a free excerpt of my book. Okay. It will be released in 2021. It will be released in 2021. All right. Go ahead, download an excerpt. I'd love to know what you think about the excerpt, what I've written. I'd love to know what you think about it. But go ahead, download it. And that's another way to stay in touch with us as well. Okay. We have a great show coming up for you next Thursday. Make sure to tune in at 11 o'clock. If you want to know anything about personal branding, let me tell you, my coach, my Brandon mama, Cheryl Pullins, she is going to lay it all out. Okay. Come with your questions because she's good at answering questions. All right. Come with your questions, but just come, invite somebody to come and share it in your group. Share it in your group. If you know people that really need to understand what personal branding is about, please let them know and bring them with you. All right. Thank you so much. This has been great. I'm just thrilled that I get to do this. I love doing this. This has been so, oh yes. Dr. Stevie says, don't forget the download contest I set last week for the free group coaching. That's right. If we get to, I think it's 500, right? If we get to 500 downloads of my free excerpt of the book, Dr. Stevie, who is amazing in her own right. That was last week's episode. If you missed it, go to YouTube. It's on there now. Okay. Our YouTube channel is pinned at the top of this page. If we do 500 downloads, if 500 people sign up, guess what? She's going to do a free group coaching with us. Free group coaching with us. And let me tell you, she's incredible. You don't want to miss that. So go ahead and download it yourself. Share it with a couple of friends. Let them know to, send them a message, send them a text message, put it in an email. Let people know that this is what's going on because you'll be a part of it as well. If you shared it, you'll be a part of it. Okay. All right. So God bless you all. Remember that you were born on purpose with a purpose. Go do something to make God smile. Remember, go out and unleash your brilliance on the world. You are the solution to somebody's problem. You're the answer to somebody's prayer. Okay? Shine bright. Shine bright. Till next time, see you next Thursday, same time, same place. Take care. Bye.